everybody, I'm Ben Felixstove, and here is another episode of Good Afternoon Adelaide clips that I've assembled. My favourite clips from my favourite show. I even thought I'd show off my favourite mug from the show. I actually got this at a garage sale. It was free, which is like the owners are crazy, like it's worth thousands. It's very precious to me, so I don't actually drink out of it. I drink out of this instead. Oh, yes. Very good. Anyway, without further ado, let the show begin.
Well, Norman, this is a treat. Returning to us, we have Kevin Goodall, Dr. Kevin Goodall. He's back with us from a trip. I don't know what he's been studying, presumably off with the fairies, telling us about the cultural merit of being buried alive or something like that.
Oh, Jeremy, you do yank my chain.
Yank your chain. You've been in the US of A, haven't you?
Yes, the North Americas. I've been on a research trip.
Is that so? Well, that's what you're always doing, isn't it? Bloody research.
Yeah, a very major anthropological study. Some ethnography, in fact, some field work.
What are your findings?
Far too soon to say. I'm still in the observational phase of this particular project, Norman. But I can tell you it revolves around the basketball. So I was on field trip in the North Americas, attending several basketball games, exploring the transcendent possibilities for disenfranchised youth.
And what did you find? Did you find that the kids worship their Prince Hakeems and their Michael Jordos?
Worship, you say? Now, that's an interesting word to invoke. Did you see something religious about this particular?
Oh, I don't know. It's far too, I don't know, silly for me. I'm more interested in the footy.
The footy?
Yes. They don't have footy over there, do they?
I don't believe so.
No.
But what about you, Norman? Did you ever play the basketball? You've got a little bit of a Larry Bird look about you.
Well, I don't know who that is, but I'll take that as a compliment. No, I can't say that I have. I do like basketball. I don't like playing it or watching it, but I do like the feel of the ball, all those little bumps.
Norman, can you do the slam dunks, or the jams, as they call it?
I choose not to, but I could.
Dunk the ball?
Yes.
Just slam it down into the net.
Sounds very dangerous.
Feels good, apparently. I wouldn't know.
I can't help but notice, I'm sorry everybody, but I'm just looking at your mug there. That does not look like a regulation Good Afternoon Adelaide mug. What does that say?
World's best golfer. I see someone has played a prank on me.
Well, it certainly wasn't me.
As you see, the man is in the water bunker. Yes, he's got a few golf balls in there. I think the joke is irony, because he's clearly not the world's best golfer.
Are you the world's best golfer?
Well, maybe if you take out the picture. Is it you, Norman, or Kevin? Who's played this prank? Did you pick this up in the US of A?
You've got me there, Jeremy. I thought it was just a little funny ha-ha for the cameras, for the people at home who are familiar with your former putt-putt venture.
We don't need to talk about that on air, do we?
Let's do.
No. We started up a little mini golf course down south of the city, Darlington Way. Wasn't successful, but you have to try. You have to try.
Well, best golfer, world's worst businessman.
We'll ask Kevin to join us after the break for a discussion of Australia Day, as it is our nation's national day. So stay right with us.
If you give Norman an idea, he'll steal it.
Stay in school and stay in Adelaide. Don't go to the eastern states. There's nothing there, trust me. Rubbish.
My message to the young people of Adelaide is to stop spray painting on my f***ing fence.
The 26th of January, Australia Day. Now, it's become controversial in recent years.
No, it hasn't.
For
Carry
a
on.
number of reasons. One of which I think is a famous Australian icon, Ned Kelly, the bushranger. Some say he's an Australian hero, and others say a genocidal maniac. Now, I'm interested because we've got maybe a couple of different viewpoints here. We've got Dr. Kevin, a famous academic, and Norman, a man with opinions.
Famous man with opinions.
So,
Thank you.
who would like to go first on this hot topic?
Ladies first.
No, I'd like to hear you, Norman. That will give me some time to formulate my rebuttal.
Very good. Well, in the absence of any ladies, I guess I shall go first. Look, Australia was founded on the 26th of January, 1788. That's a fact.
Yes?
Well, that's my first point.
Dr. Kevin.
I don't know if this show is the right forum for my particular set of views, Jeremy, just because I understand this is a family show and this is a particular subject that makes my blood boil. But I will say for the people at home that it's a jingoistic fallacy built upon the bloodshed of a displaced indigenous population, and that's all I have to say right now. But I'm interested, Jeremy, in your invocation of Ned Kelly. What on earth does Ned Kelly have to do with Australia Day?
He's an Australian hero. Many invoke his name and spirit as part of the rich fabric of our country. The bushranger. He stole from the rich and gave to the poor.
And is this a particular point of inspiration for yourself, Jeremy?
Well,
Do you see yourself as a bit of a Ned Kelly type character?
Well, it's certainly four. Oh, no. I'm sure you're not that.
Norman, how do you feel about Ned Kelly?
I think he was rightly hanged,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a disgrace, in my opinion, that he has the status in our society that he does. I think, I mean, what's next? Are we going to be worshipping that guy who shot a bunch of people on Hoddle Street? I mean, that's basically the modern day equivalent of Ned Kelly.
Funny you mentioned Julian Knight, because I'm actually his PhD supervisor.
So the Ned Kelly debate is settled. Not a good man, apparently.
I do have one more thing to say. Did you know that if you are in Melbourne and you go to the old Melbourne Gale Museum, they have there stored in a glass box Ned Kelly's penis? You laugh, Jeremy, but this is an interesting historical object.
I think we may have just lost the video feed there.
Cameraman
Apologise about that.
seems to have had a stroke.
A lot of technical difficulty. I'm not surprised, considering what we're talking about.
Sorry,
I
they're
think
not, they're not family friendly.
I think we just tried to put up some file footage of the penis in question, and the censors did not allow it.
Unbroadcast.
So Ned Kelly and his penis in a glass case, no good.
Hello, children. It's me, Len. Come to Lenland, the food chain. We have the tastiest lunch and dinners in whole peninsula. Come down for delicious pork and chicken. We fry the pork. We fry the chicken. We roast the pork. We have the little kids' parties. We have cake. We have gravy. We have potatoes. We have turnips. Roast turnips are nutrition. Order Len takeaway $16.48 food dinner meal and get free 1.25 litre Sprite bottle. You come in and eat it all. Put some pork on your spoon. Pork is the smartest animal to eat. Lenland food chain, corner of Sturt Road and Brighton Road. There's so much chicken, it's delicious.
Hello, I'm Norman Vine. When I fly into Adelaide to host another award-nominated episode of Good Afternoon Adelaide, I choose to light up with Adelaide Airport Motel matches. You can light them anywhere, on the plane, while you're walking across the tarmac, and if anyone asks, just say, it's okay, they're safety matches.
Welcome back. You're on Good Afternoon Adelaide. We've got a caller on the line. We've got Peter from Glenelg West. Hello, how are you, Peter?
Hello, very well, thank you.
Peter, what do you love about Australia?
Very fine country. My favourite flower is the Sturt's desert pea.
Yes.
Are you familiar with the pea?
Yes, the floral emblem of South Australia. And fun fact, the reason why the pie floater is the iconic South Australian dish is that the pea soup is made of Sturt's desert peas. Did you know that, Norman?
Of course I knew that.
Did you know that, Peter?
I did not know that.
Yes. Fun fact.
Peter, hello.
Hello.
You like the Sturt's Desert Pea?
Yes, that's right. I get annoyed when people leave out the apostrophe, or they just have it as the Sturt desert pea.
Unforgivable.
Yes, well, you should include an apostrophe after the A on the P, if it's plural.
Sturt's Desert Pea.
Are they,
That's correct.
if it belongs to the Sturt desert pea, do you mean?
That's right. It's
The
Sturt's
desert,
P.
The Sturt desert peas. Okay, so we have Neil from Puraka. Hello, how are you, Neil?
Hello, good, thanks. How are you?
Good, very good.
Yes.
Yes, he was talking to me, Norman.
Hello?
Neil.
Yes.
It's Jeremy Dome here.
Ah, very good.
What do you love about Australia? Jeremy Dome, perhaps?
Yeah, sure.
There he is, the one man who likes you.
You. Well, one more than you, Norman. One more than you.
Well, I don't care if the men don't like me.
Neil, what do you love about Australia?
Well, I've got a collection of thongs,
Oh, yes.
and I love wearing thongs.
Oh,
Only
yes.
in Australia.
Only in Australia do they wear the thongs.
Here's a fun fact. I don't know if you knew this, but in the United States of America, they don't call thongs thongs. They call a thong a bikini.
And so they wear bikinis on their feet, are you saying?
I'm not quite sure how it works. I've only heard this secondhand. But yes, you go over there and you use the word thong, they'll look at you funny.
Did you encounter any of that over when you were in the US of A, Dr. Kevin?
I may have worn a thong or two, but it was not discussed.
Neil, how many thongs do you have?
I have 42 pairs.
That's 84 thongs in total.
Yes, I've been collecting them for about 17 years now.
Well, that's nearly, it's more than 2 pairs of thongs a year.
And Neil, what is...
Pretty reasonable, really. Yeah, makes sense.
Neil, if I may ask, what is the jewel in the crown of your collection?
Oh, I've got a couple of pairs with bottle openers on the bottom, on the sole of the thong, and to be able to crack open a cold beer with your shoe is very Australian.
And Neil, how do you feel about the sandal?
I've tried them, mate. I've tried them. I've given them a go. I just, there's too many straps and buckles. You just want to slide on in. Just get in there.
Yes, that's what my ex-wife used to say to me, and it still didn't make any difference whatsoever.
What's too much to strap on?
Okay, thank you very much, Neil.
No worries.
Fabulous. Do we have any more callers?
Oh, yes we do.
Norman,
Let's go
would you like to take this one?
Sure. Let's go to Stephanie from Hazelwood.
You always pick the women, don't you, Norman?
Well, they call in, they should go to it. That's what I believe. Stephanie, what's on your mind? What do you love about Australia?
I like going to the beach.
Well, that's a lovely contribution. Thank you very much for sending you a Good Afternoon Adelaide prize pack. And,
one of those Norman Vine thongs I've been hearing so much all about.
yes, the Australian kind.
Okay, Dr. Kevin, thank you very much for joining us today. It's been a pleasure having you.
It's been a colourful experience as always.
And no doubt you'll be back very soon. Norman, thank you also.
Thank you, Jeremy. Always a pleasure. Thank you, everybody.
And we'll see you tomorrow afternoon. Goodbye.
And let's just do some actions that we can put over the end credits. We'll just roll the credits up here, right? We can just pretend that we're talking to each other like they do at the end of the news.
No, I don't want any of that. Norman. Yes, I first met Norman when I was 15 years old. I worked at the local grocer, which was owned by Norman at the time, of course, and I squashed a few tomatoes underfoot, and he fired me. He came in personally to do it. He said he just loved the thrill. Just put in a resume like any other job. What's the problem? That I hosted and Norman co-hosts. Garbage. Don't... The quality of newspapers in this town, if I can digress here for a moment, is just tripe. Wouldn't read a word of it. Frankly, we shouldn't even teach our kids to read anymore. That's how garbage it is. I like taking a stroll down Semaphore Road, grabbing a coffee, reading the paper on a lazy Sunday morning. Norman's irritable bowel syndrome causes quite a lot of humour on the set. Needless to say, when Norman rushes out for a segment and goes missing, you know where he is. More O-Barns, thriving car industry, and just top-notch healthcare, best in the nation. Don't go to those eastern states. The media in this state will not, they refuse to report on all the suicides that have happened this year. What are they hiding? What don't they want you to know? Well, there's a special report tonight, and I want you all to know exactly what has been happening in this state, who has been killing themselves, how, when, where. You will find out tonight on Doe. Hello everyone, you're still with us here on Good Afternoon Adelaide. I've got my good friends Dr. Kevin Goodall and Norman Vine here with me in the studio. Hello Kevin, hello Kellen. Kevin, hello Norman.
Get my name right, won't you?
No, I got his name wrong. We're talking on the theme of Australian things today, and I believe we wanted to talk about currency. In particular, the 1s and the 2-cent pieces, which are controversially being taken out of circulation soon. I say controversially because many people still just love the feel of them. They're lovely little things to have jangling around in your pocket. I remember as a boy, sagging pockets full of coins. Real pleasure to walk down the street and just fill them.
Don't go jumping in the creek with your pockets full of 2-cent coins. It won't come back up again.
Rest in peace, Norman Sr. Dr. Kevin, how do you feel about our beloved 1 and 2-cent pieces?
I have to say I can't stand the things, and I cannot wait until they're phased out. But this is for a very personal reason, which is that the taste of copper reminds me of when I had my stroke, and that was a very unpleasant experience for me.
I didn't realize you had a stroke, Dr. Kevin. When was that?
Of course, I don't have to eat them, so... it was about 3 years ago. Brought on by stress.
My word.
But I'm much better now. It was a pretty horrible 6 months there where I had some kind of brain fluid collecting repeatedly in the neck. I had to drain my spinal column. I'd be paying visits to the nurseman several times a week just to drain that fluid. But if you collect it and put it on the garden, one's succulents and cacti would thrive.
Perhaps you caught one of those Amazonian brain bugs on one of your trips to the jungle.
Possibly.
Perhaps that's what's possessing you to eat the coin. Don't eat the coins! We can't stop him, Norman!
Kevin! Someone call the ambulance man! You know the type, she's got the car,
Back in 10.
So you know the type, she's got the Playboy Bunny car seat covers, the Playboy Bunny beach shawls, covered in Playboy Bunny tattoos, and yet, when I ask to see naked pictures, suddenly I'm the weirdo. Go figure.
Alright, that's enough. Good afternoon, everyone. You're on Good Afternoon Adelaide, and it's time for our very special interview. You've been building up to it all week. We're going to be speaking with the former Prime Minister of this country, Malcolm Fraser.
One of our finest Prime Ministers.
Well, as you know, Norman, we're coming up on the 15th anniversary of the dismissal.
Yes.
What are
yes.
your memories of that day?
Momentous day. I remember where I was. Government House.
Okay, that's interesting. I think I'm getting word that Malcolm's on the line. Malcolm, thanks for being with us. It's great to have you here. We're very excited. Now tell me, what are your memories of that day? How did you find yourself in Government House speaking with the Governor-General?
I was asked in to see the Governor-General, and I was asked
hang
if
on,
I
hold
would...
that thought, Malcolm. I'm just going to have to interrupt you there. Jeremy, do you smell that?
Oh, I think I do, Norman. I know what that's time for. It's time for
Get the bell.
Fight Alert!
Who
Who
is it?
did it?
Who is it?
Who did
is
it?
it
Was
this
it
time?
you? Was it you? Jeffrey, I'm looking at you. It's
Man
one
with
of
a boot.
smells like one of yours.
Oh, God. That's awful. Turn on the fan to maximum fan.
That's one of the worst I've ever smelled.
Oh my goodness. Oh, it's terrible.
Well,
Put a $1 in the fart jar.
blimey. Okay. Malcolm, sorry. Now, you were saying...
I don't think...
thanks for watching another collection of Good Afternoon Adelaide clips with me, Ben Felixstove. See you next time.